Have you been to a relationship where your partner worships you and loves you one day, and the other day they're just distant, aloof, and cold towards you? Have you been in a relationship where there's a lot of back and forth and a lot of ups and downs, where you don't feel that this is stable and you don't know what to expect from your partner? One day they're very close to you, and the other day very far away from you emotionally and mentally. So that's what we called the disorganized attachment style. And in this video, we're going to learn more about it, but also how to communicate with a partner with a disorganized attachment style. Hi, I'm Vasi Sarandopoulou, relationship therapist, and I'm here in order to help you understand your relationship better and bring more connection, love, and trust in them. Don't forget to subscribe to AntiLoneliness so that you can get our weekly notifications of our new videos with a lot of tips and insights about relationships and mental health. So, what is the disorganized attachment style? I will explain to you while I'm presenting generally what is the attachment style. Attachment style is the way that we connect, we relate to other people. We all have an attachment style. There's nobody that doesn't have one. It's the way that we trust or don't trust, the way we feel secure or don't feel secure in the presence of other people, and specifically the people that are close to us. It's a way that we relate with our partners, but also with friends and people that belong to our environment. Our attachment style is the way we relate, and we form that attachment style from our childhood, from the very first relationship we have with our main caregivers. In most cases, it's our mother and our father, but in other cases, it can be the person that has raised us. You can learn more about the 4 attachment styles in the videos that I'm going to share with you in the description. And you can see there in details what each one of these attachment style entails. Today, we're going to talk about the disorganized attachment style, which is not so much talked about. The disorganized attachment style is a style where the person is feeling very insecure in being intimate, being close to other people, but at the same time, they're craving for connection. That's why I said in the beginning, it's a lot of back and forth. But however, this is happening in a very inconsistent way, in a very unpredictable and unstable way. So the moment that you feel very close to your partner and you want more connection from them, that's the moment that they feel pressure. That's the moment that they push you back. However, when they push you back and you take distance and you allow them all this space, then that's the moment that they come back to you, they chase you, and they initiate again this connection. As you understand, it's always the opposite of what you actually want from the relationship. It's always one chasing the other, and that makes it very exhausting and very unpredictable. How we learn disorganized attachment style, it's usually the result of painful, traumatic, emotional experiences of our childhood. What I mean specifically with that? It means that the person that has shown us love is the same person that has abused us. And it doesn't need to be the parents, but it can be a person, an important person from our upbringing, from our environment back then. The same person that has loved us is the same person that has hurt us. And that's what creates the connection to the brain of a person with a disorganized attachment style. How can I separate the fact that somebody who has deeply loved me also deeply hurt me? I cannot trust people anymore. I cannot allow myself to trust and connect fully with somebody else because I know that I'm going to pay a heavy price for that. And that's why they do this back and forth. As you can understand, there's a lot of feeling of unsafety there and mistrust. They don't feel safe with relationships. And that's why they're afraid of committing. And that's why they're afraid of connecting with the other person. There's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of distress, there's a lot of confusion within the person of the disorganized attachment style. It's not that they are setting out to hurt you intentionally. No, that's the result of their inner chaos and confusion about people and relationships. As you can understand, that affects the relationships per se, because of course a relationship with a lot of ups and downs and back and forth and instability, it's a relationship with a lot of stress, but it also affects the self-image of the person with a disorganized attachment style. They're doubting about their own self-worth. They think that they don't deserve to be loved. They are unlovable or unlikable. They doubt of whether it's possible for them that one day they will be in a calm and respectful relationship ever. because that's not the experience that they had during their childhood. Now, I understand that being a partner of a person with a disorganized attachment style can be very stressful, can be very confusing, can be very overwhelming, can be very exhausting. So, what I'm going to share with you today is a couple of tips so that you know how to deal with a partner with a disorganized attachment style and how you can bring more connection and more safety in that relationship. That's what this person is craving for. First and foremost, communication is key here. Usually, the person with a disorganized attachment style, they interpret the world, the other person, and the relationship through this filter of instability, mistrust, betrayal, and hurt. They're filling in the gaps of your communication with their interpretation. So, what you need to bring here is transparency. Without leaving this communication, these conclusions to them, you have to make everything explicit. There's a lot of confusion, there's a lot of misunderstandings in relationship like this. So you have to make everything clear. You have to reassure them, for example, that when you go out for drinks with your friends, it doesn't mean that you're abandoning them. It doesn't mean that you're not having a good time with them. It doesn't mean that your feelings for them have changed. I know it sounds exhausting, but that's something that you need to do in the beginning of the relationship or in the beginning of this effort so that you can help them establish some safety. Once the safety is there and the trust is there, you don't need to do that all the time. However, first, we need to make these messages explicit because, as we said before, the person with a disorganized attachment style, they are going to interpret everything you do through this filter of rejection, hurt, and betrayal. And we don't want that. The second thing that you can do, set some healthy boundaries and give them space. What I mean with that, usually when our partner is reacting in an aggressive or in a distressed way, when we're putting some pressure on them, when we want to have a conversation, when we want to talk about feelings, or when we want to talk about something that is important about the relationship, when they react like that, we tend to give them space, lots of space. However, because we are afraid of the conflict, this space eventually becomes silence. We never get back to what is important for the relationship. We never get back to the issue that needs to be discussed and needs to be resolved. So, of course, the silence doesn't mean that it's resolved. It just stays under the carpet. So, what I want you to do here is give space to the person with a disorganized attachment style because they need it, because they don't have the words or the clarity immediately when you want to talk. Of course, you need to respect that. They need some space and time in order to put their thoughts and their feelings in an order before they come and talk to you. So give them space, but at the same time, set some healthy boundaries. Together with them, you decide when do you think it's best for us to come back and continue the conversation. Shall we say in a week from now, we will continue that conversation. And it's okay if you need some time. It's very valuable time because we are going to check with ourselves what our feelings and what our needs are. It's fine. So give them that space, understand where they're coming from. Don't present it as a punishment or as a sacrifice you're doing. Allow them to feel safe and understood and validated there. But at the same time, set a healthy boundary. We're coming back next week to continue that conversation. And during this week, we are both going to think about what we want, what we need, and what we feel, and what has happened during that conversation. All right? So keep these two tips and see whether you can come closer to your partner, but now in a different way. Not in a way of demanding or being confused or being rejected, but in a different way, by creating more safety and more connection, real connection with them. I hope it was helpful. Feel free to also add your comments, your own experience. What have you tried with these techniques? What has happened? Add them there, and I always respond. Thank you very much for listening. Have a look at my academy and the course Detox Your Relationship, and you're going to find very useful tips and insights there about your relationship. Thank you very much. Until next video, take good care of yourself.